4/29/21. 4 April. 29 April. This is the, what do you call it, the anniversary of that guy, Mikhail, something. So, he finished a 3-year journey 2 years ago today that took him to every national landmark like Yosemite and shit, national parks that there were or something. There's your history. And I guess it's 24 degrees cooler today than it was yesterday. So there's your weather. Whether you like it or not. That's what I would have said at the end of every weather forecast. Fucking tornadoes are coming. You're not going to live if you don't get inside, get in the basement. Fucking, what do you call it? Southwest corner. It's on its way, whether you like it or not. And on days when you know it's going to be fucking 93 degrees and the water is just fantastic. And it sounds like a good day for anybody that might want to be on the beach. So it's going to be a fine day, whether you like it or not. Been talking the last couple of days about the Cultural Revolution here and there, and Mao. You know, Mao means cat. Mao. Meow. Maybe that's where it comes from. Chinese been speaking a language longer than any of us have been speaking English, so, you know, how the fuck. And the thing is, it's why it never came up. I quit wondering whether that poor guy really was driven toward being like one of these tyrants and like really would have been honored to be on a level with Mao. I wonder that, like a cultural revolution, you know? And they take all the smart people, smart asses, and they send them off to the damn farm to starve to death. And what's left are the people that were okay with what was going on, you know? And that's what you have as a mass, mainly. Because these people bred. The other people started eating people. So that's what they got there too. But, yeah. And I really think about it. That I spent some time in China. I was long enough to see a few things. I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but what other people say about them being fluent, well then I must be spectacular. 可是我不会说太多了中文。I said, however, I've got to translate now. I speak little Chinese. 我不会说. Oh, I can't speak. 说. 太多了, too much, very much. 太多了, too much, it means. So I translated it to my way of speaking English. Zhongguan, Chinese. You know, I can get going, I can buy smokes, I can buy a train ticket. One time I let somebody help me buy a train ticket because they're so damn helpful. Everybody wants to help and talk to you and stuff. And they want to take you to the teller to get your ticket. And I was traveling, you know, I went up to Jiayuguan, you know, where you're not a great man unless you go there. That's what they told me. I was already there. I didn't know anything about it. I just went. Got a picture of me on the Great Wall. It's just a little fucking fence, clay fence about 10 feet high where Peter's out there, and it just, I saw where it ends, man. That's how the Mongolians got around it. They had to go through the Gobi to do it. But this guy, I just said, okay, I let him help me buy a ticket. And you have to understand, you do need help when you first get there. When you don't speak the language, you don't understand shit about it. But once you get the language, buying a train ticket is the easiest thing in the world. And so I buy my own train tickets. This guy decides he wants to help me. And I'm going into Mongolia. I say, okay. Next thing I know, the train going the other way. I'm like, what the fuck, man? He got me on the train going back where I just came from. I had to wait like 3 hours to get off the fucking train and buy a ticket on my own to go where I was going. I wanted to go to Mongolia and ride a horse across the plains, just galloping, galloping, and galloping. I never did get to ride the horse, but I did ride 2 horses. No, I just had to come up with something, you know. Thing is, they're very helpful. And what I'm saying is my language was good enough, but not fantastic. Anybody who tells you they're fantastic in a language, they must be speaking English and they're from fucking Norway or something. Everybody speaks better English than we do, but we don't speak as well as them. Like, you know, it's just like us. Any night, there was one place I was in, I could go into a bar. I'd pick bars every once in a while, move different bars and become somewhat of a regular. And I was just kind of becoming a regular in this one place. 3 or 4 times I'd been there, where I talk with the wait staff, the bartenders and stuff, and meet people and talk. Work, you know, just work your magic. Become friends with people. And I was in there the one night, and I'm just by myself, you know, and this is a dark bar. It's a bunch of, you know, it's a Chinese bar. And there are people in there playing mahjong and you know, dice games and stuff. I'd play dice with guys every once in a while. I'm pretty good at that fucking cup dice game. Jimmy taught it to me. I fucking win some of that. I mean, I'm strategic. And so I was regular enough, and I'm sitting there at the bar, and there's this one waitress, and there's a guy. You can see they're together. She likes him, he likes her. They're like almost like going together. Not going out, going together in 6th grade. So I could see there was something there. And I'm just sitting there and just looking at TV or something with my beer, and all of a sudden, smash! I'm like, what the fuck? I turn around, there's a fucking bottle flying behind me, and I hit it and hitting the wall behind me. I'm like, who the hell? And I was smash! And these guys, there were like 5 or 6 of them. They jumped on this one dude that she liked, and they were beating the shit out of him, and he was on the floor, on the dance floor, and they were just kicking the shit out and running around. And this is how I know you don't have to. I could take 4 Chinese men in a fight. take any of these, just your average, like a raffle or something. I might get a Bruce Lee in there, then I'm in trouble, but it's highly unlikely. I can take 4 Chinese men by myself, because I watch them. They always attack in numbers on one guy, and the guy's friend will be standing over going, I don't know what to do. And they hit like this. You see what I'm doing with my hand? They'd be punching this guy, and they kick like that. They can't kick, they can't punch. They forget your notion that all Chinese people know fucking Kung Fu. Li Xiaolong, man, Bruce Lee. No, they don't. They're fucking terrible fighters, but they go in a gang and attack one guy. And that's what these guys, 5 or 6 of them there were, because there weren't that many people in the bar that night. But they're kicking the shit out of him, on the floor, and he's just, he's not even trying. I could have taken 6 of them that night. See, I wait for him to attack, and the barmaid, the waitress girl that liked him, she went running over there into this, and I don't know what music was playing, but music was playing, and the fucking lights are, and they got him on the dance floor just kicking him, and she ran and jumped on him like a grenade, and she's on his back trying to protect him, and these guys don't give a shit about that. They're kicking him still and kicking her, in his core collateral shit. And I just said, So I put my beer down, and I went over to where they were. I just walked over, and they're still kicking her, and I reached down into this thing, and I picked her up and carried her out of there, because, I didn't want her to get hurt. Kind of liked her myself. He's standing in my light. But, I guess I probably could have helped that guy, but who knows who these fuckers were. I worked as a bartender in a Chinese bar in, Fremont, California there for a while. And, there are different layers to society you just really probably don't want to get involved with if you live in the area. And it never even really occurred to me. Let's get to the bottom of it. But, I've seen many people beaten like that before, and without knowing why they're getting beaten, my first instinct, I'd be good on a jury. I say, I don't, for all I know, he had it coming. That's all. I've seen, So then after that all went, I just grabbed my beer and I walked out on the sidewalk, because you can stand with a beer on the sidewalk in China. And you could smoke inside too, but I was just like, well, that's done. I went outside and I'm smoking, and I got a beer and just over there. And by the time the cop got there, everybody else was gone. And so the cop gets there, and he's going, ha la 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 la, ha la 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 la, with the damn bar guy, owner, or whatever it was. And they're going, and as I said, I can speak some Chinese, but when they really get going, and on the telephone, I gotta be able to look in your eyes. I gotta be able to connect with you to be able to fucking speak, really. And I have to have at least 4 beers. Let's not forget, because that's the way I learned it. That's Korsakoff's psychosis. Let me tell you this. When I learned what the word innocent, because the people I was in the band with and everything, they teach me innocent, and I'd be like, well, what do I need to know that for? So I'd say, Wobu Guda, I'd put the no into it, and I'd always say, Wobu Guda, and they'd laugh. And so, that's why I was learning it as a joke. Remember, the boo means no, it's going to be missing. And so I'm standing there a long time after that, see it sticks, the joke. And that cop is going, la la la, and la 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 la, and the bar owner, he says, ah, and he stopped, he went, ah, and he pointed at me standing there with my beer and my cigarette. And the cop looked at me, and I raised my hands and I said, Woguda. And he said, ah, and he went, da. The cop started yelling back at that. And I said, I learned Wobuguda as a joke so that I could say I'm not. But I got to use it the way I was supposed to say it when I looked at that cop and he was looking at me, and I was obviously getting accused of something. They were probably blaming it all on me, that dead guy in there. He wasn't dead as far as I know. And I was able to say, I'm innocent. Woguda. Like the French cheese Gouda. Wo, Gouda. I'm innocent. And I never thought I'd say that in my life when they were teaching it to me, but it worked. And see, there's a good law system going on there, You're not just getting taken away because somebody's got to go. So what I'm saying is, after the Cultural Revolution, they've got an order. Either that, or it's because I was a white dude. Didn't want to deal with the embassy. I don't know. I'd get out. Done it before. And then you meet the people. See, I'm hanging out with these people. It's just like a regular bar. And the people are so friendly. They're just good-natured people, and you just so happy. You watch them when they don't even know you're there. You just watch them. They're good-natured people, and you think this is what came of the Cultural Revolution. This is what became of the people that were kept on the winning team. They're just so friendly. And they're deathly afraid of the government. Master Chen, I said, well, what are they going to do? You put you in prison? You got to pay a fine? Or what? And he says, I don't know. He was petrified. I said, yeah. This guy's petrified of his government. And the people are great people unless they're politically driven, So the assholes run the place, and everybody lives in fear and just tries to act like it's not so bad. And so that's what I think. Except, with that poor guy, maybe if he had done this, that's the society we would have. Except, the people I see walking around that want this are fucking total assholes. I'm not. There are maniacs out there. They're fucking assholes, and I doubt that those are the kind of people that would make such friendly, good-natured people. Maybe that's what you want to be. I guess you can do that. You can be in total fear of everything outside of your yard. And when it comes to feeling petrified to walk out in the streets, after a while, you'll get used to it.